Joining me this morning to talk a little bit about just some of the things she's doing in the next few weeks. Jamie Church is back, of course, from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I can't believe we're in November. Can't
I know, here we
believe
are.
it. This
That's
is crazy.
true.
This is crazy.
But
and we do have some things coming up.
time marches on,
Yes.
right? So what's coming up? I think I know.
Yes. So we've wrapped up a lot, but
Yes.
we're heading in now to the official holiday season.
We are.
So we have a lot coming up. We have a business after hours for J.A. Jewelers on Friday, November 17th. And this is a coat drive. So this is a very popular business after hours. And for every coat you bring in, children's coat or teenagers. And by the way, I think teenagers really prefer hoodies. So if you're going to just go buy a bunch of hoodies.
Yep.
So anyway, for every coat you drop off, you get a raffle ticket, and they give away lots of fun jewelry and prizes that night at J.A. Jewelers.
Yeah, if you ever get invited to a raffle at a jewelry store,
go. I know, go.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. So
right.
That's just super fun, and we're excited that J.A. Jewelers continues with this tradition. And the 17th is also the deadline to enter into the parade. So the Farmington Christmas Parade this year will happen on November 30th.
Always
Thursday,
at the week after Thanksgiving.
Yes, always the Thursday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
It coincides with the Festival of Trees Family Night. And so the deadline, though, to get your float into the parade is coming up on the 17th of November.
Okay.
And the entry forms can be found online by going to our website, which is www.gofarmington.com. And all the information is there that you need. So the cost to enter a float is there, what our theme is, which is this year it's called Christmas in New Mexico. So we hope everyone will kind of have a New Mexico flair to their float.
Yeah.
Information about roundabouts. So everyone always asks this question. Your truck and trailer total length can't be more than 40 feet. So 40 feet is the max in order to get people around that roundabout.
Okay.
So we ask that you limit it to no more than 40 feet. And so all the information is there. It is an evening parade and starts at about 5:30 and travels east to west. And so that gives you some of the details about the parade.
There you go. You mentioned that the information is there for floats, but it's also there for marching groups and walking groups and anybody else, right? So if you want to be in the parade, you got to enter by the 17th.
Yes. And so we already have a color guard. So if somebody's listening and they're thinking they want to do the colors, we actually already have a group doing that.
Okay.
But we welcome marching bands. And if you're with a school, it is free to enter the parade. If you are a commercial float, I believe it's 30. If you're a chamber member, it's 25. It's all on the website.
Okay.
And I shouldn't even be saying all this because I'm not looking at it. But it's all there. And we do have a limit on the number of floats, though. So we're only accepting 70 entries. And the reason...
Only
70 entries.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
And the reason for that is it takes a lot of time to get a parade down Main. And we want people to have time to go over to the Festival of Trees Family Night. So there is a deadline, the 17th.
Okay.
And so that's it.
Very cool.
And then we have another really exciting business after hours coming up in December. I'll just mention it now. This has been a popular one for years. They haven't had it the last few years due to the Marriott being under construction.
That's right.
And
a lot of
COVID.
renovations and things.
That's right. So the very popular Kaiser, Courtyard, Millennium, Levitt Insurance Business After Hours is back. It is on Wednesday, December 6th at the Courtyard by Marriott. So we just put our first flyer in the newsletter about that a couple weeks ago, but that has been a very popular business after hours. Another one that's for a nonprofit. You bring in food, canned food for Echo. It's one of the biggest food drives that happens all year. For every can of food or package of food that you bring, you get a raffle ticket. So again, fun. This is a way for us to collect and give back to some of our nonprofit partners. So that is all in our newsletter.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
wow.
Thanks.
Just a few things going on.
Just a few things.
Just a couple of small, little, tiny things that, don't take any of your time at all.
That's right. That's right.
I do want to point out for the parade that once again we are partnering with you, KSJE. And thank you for inviting me back to MC the parade. But we're also going to be streaming the parade with our visual radio technology. So folks who maybe can't make it down to Main Street or don't want to stand on Main Street on a night in late November can stay home
want to do that.
and watch the parade live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
We really appreciate you doing that. It's so fun. Every year we're able to expand what we're doing.
Well, last year was our first year, and that was really it went really well. So we're excited to be doing it again.
To have you back.
And this year we have aerial aerial footage from the drone people are going to be there, our partners.
Well, it's going to be great. And there's one more thing I do need to mention because I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. We are wrapping up the year, so it's time for us to begin getting nominations for Business and Citizen of the Year. And as you know, as a previous Citizen of the Year awardee.
Well, back at you.
That's right. Thank you. So this is the Business of the Year does need to be a Farmington Chamber member. The Citizen of the Year doesn't. But we collect these nominations, and then we have a committee that reviews them. And at our chamber banquet, which will be in January, the date is still to be determined, we will announce our Business and our Citizen of the Year. But this year we're adding on another category, and that is Nonprofit of the Year. Because our nonprofits do so much in our community. They're not technically a business, but they are adding to the quality of life and providing very necessary services. And I don't think they always get the credit they deserve because they're usually working on a very tight budget, and they're doing a lot to make our community a better place. So this year we are adding on a nonprofit. So if you know about a nonprofit that's deserving, please send us that nomination, and we will again review that and be making that announcement as well.
Okay.
At our banquet.
Very cool. Is there a deadline for those nominations? Probably
we
by
need them by
December
the end of December. December 31st.
Okay.
Let's say December 31st. That sounds like a good time to say that. And our theme this year is the Oscars. It's just going to be fun, dress up, an evening at the Oscars, and we'll be making our awards just like they do at the Oscars.
Okay.
So
little gold statues?
Well, perhaps,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So there will be more information to come as I get things organized following the parade and such.
Everything else that you're doing. Sounds good. And you brought a guest with you this
bring
month,
a
and so we
guest.
want to get to introduce him and talk
That's
about
right.
what he does here at San Juan College, and that is Martin Brady, who is here with us this month. Martin is the Director of Business Incubation and Acceleration Initiatives here at San Juan College, working at the Enterprise Center, just down the hall, I guess, from
down the hall
where
from
the
me.
chamber offices are. But Martin, good morning, and welcome to KSJE. It's nice to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you for being here. And so you are in charge, as I mentioned, your title, but you are really looking for new businesses and existing businesses that are part of the Incubator Center or over at the Enterprise Center to help start off in business and grow their business and all business things related, I guess, right?
Yes, the Enterprise Center is a certified business incubator. So
Thank you,
we
yes.
help small businesses and entrepreneurs start their business or grow their business.
Got you. And so right now you are pretty full. We were talking before we came on the air this morning that there are a lot of businesses that are in the Incubator Center and that are working, and some are maybe just office based, and some are more manufacturing based, and so it's all different types of things that you're people that you're working with, correct?
Yes, it's quite a variety of businesses, from a business that is focused on fashion and textiles, and they use our Big Idea Makerspace to actually print the fabric that they cut into garments. But then we also have a company that is involved in designing and installing closets. There is a company that's involved in energy with a very proprietary oil technology. And then we have a number of other companies that are involved in either automation or electrical contracting, but it's quite a variety of companies, and they all have different needs. But again, I work really, it's not just me as the director of the Enterprise Center, but we have quite a few resources and services available to all those companies to help them develop their business model, but also to help them grow. And like I said, Jamie and the Chamber of Commerce is one of the resources that's available. We have a Small Business Development Center, we have WES, and we have other services and resources available to all of these companies.
Very good. And the idea is that they're not going to stay there forever necessarily at the incubator, but also maybe graduate, if you will, and move on to maybe a bigger location to expand their business and to grow as a stand-on-your-own type of a facility or a business,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. My goal is to help progress these companies through the incubation process so they get to a stage where they feel they are sustainable. They have a sustainable business model, and they're also looking at that next stage of growth. And that typically would be their graduation process, and then they would move out. And from that perspective, my goal is to create demand and have the next entrepreneur, the next business move in and be ready.
Right. And so if someone is listening to us this morning, watching us this morning, and they have maybe an idea for a business, they are this close to putting that together, can they reach out to you or to someone to see about if they would be a good fit for the incubator?
Absolutely. They can reach out. They can go to sanjuancollege.edu/enterprise center to get information on the Enterprise Center. There is an email opt-in to get information on the resources and services that are offered. But there is also an application form in there. So you can apply to become a member. And then there's a process to review those applications. And the Enterprise Center helps businesses as they become members in the Enterprise Center.
Right.
But there are also services and resources available to companies who are, I would call, pre-incubation. So to help get them prepared and ready to move into a facility like the Enterprise Center.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And maybe some of those things were being talked about this week because you are here during Innovation Week, right? And so
Correct.
You have a number of events that are going on throughout the week in relation to what we're talking about this morning. And so today, Tuesday, is Business Incubation Day. And so what types of things are happening today?
Happening today, it's Business Incubation Day is actually part of Innovation Week. So this week is actually Global Entrepreneurship Week.
Okay.
So we have our first ever Innovation Week at the Enterprise Center. So it started yesterday, Monday, and it continues all the way through to Friday. And each day is tailored to different audiences. So we're outreaching. So the Innovation Week is not just for the members within the Enterprise Center. It is really an outreach to the community, an outreach to the small business community, entrepreneur community, educators, students, creators, and makers. So it's an opportunity to outreach and bring that audience into the Enterprise Center. Yesterday we had Small Business and Startup Innovation Day. Today is Business Incubation Day. So we have a number of presentations. We have a presentation with Chris Hunter, a principal for Cornerstone Business. And then we have a number of entrepreneurs, businesses, some inside and some from outside the Enterprise Center, sharing their innovation and entrepreneur story, their successes and challenges.
Okay.
And tomorrow we have an Education and Innovation Day. So we're starting that off with it's a webinar on patents, and that's presented by, let me look at here, presented by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and then the New Mexico Technology Commercialization Accelerator. And then we have a number of presentations. We have a partnership with NMSU and the Arrowhead Center. So we have a number of presentations from the Arrowhead Center around Studio G, which is a student-focused business incubation and acceleration program, AIBE, which is American Indian Business Entrepreneur Program, and then Innoventure. So Innoventure is an interesting program that they work with elementary school and high school students to help prep them for entrepreneurship and innovation. So it's working with students who may have the start of an idea, but they can bring that idea through this program through to almost like a pitch event. And there is a statewide competition that is run through Innoventure that they have a number of programs in. I think they're just wrapping up one in this semester, but they're going to kick it off again early in spring for another semester. So it's a statewide competition. So the schools are actually competing with each other, and then the top 3 students go to a statewide competition in the summer.
Right.
So there's just some of the programs that are available to entrepreneurs at any level, whether they're students, small businesses, or somebody who's looking to maybe start a different business.
Right. And you mentioned you've got a lot of different types of businesses at the incubator, and so there's a lot of different things that are going on. And now you also have a Financing and Grants Investors Day that's coming up this week too.
That's on Thursday, and then I'm excited for every day, but actually one that I'm most excited about is Makerspace and Prototype Day.
Okay.
Because
that's
on Friday. So we have a wonderful. It's called the Big Idea Makerspace. So that is we have technology from 2D printing to 3D printing. We have a full workshop for metal machining and wood machining. But for me, it's exciting because my background is in product design, is getting to something that's tangible, that tangible product. So that is a resource that's available not just to the Enterprise Center members, but it's a resource that's available to all the community. So there's a membership model. So anybody can come in for a day membership or a week membership or a month membership to help anybody who has an idea make it a reality.
Right. If I want to build a widget and I have the plans, or I think I know what the plans are, someone over there at the makerspace can help me figure out what it is I need to make it out of, whether it's wood or metal or plastic, I suppose, right? And you have the machinery and the technology to actually create it.
Yes, and really it's hands-on, because what the wonderful technicians are there to do, they're well-versed in all the technology, but really they want to help everybody who comes in learn about the process and expose them maybe to different ways of actually achieving their end result, achieving their product.
Right. So they won't make it for me maybe, but they'll be happy to maybe teach me how to I can do it myself with the machinery that you have.
And then you can take those skills out of the Big Idea Makerspace and use them in the real world as well.
Right. If I want to make 10,000 widgets.
That's right.
Or something, right?
Yes.
Something like that. So, see, a business is born, Jamie Church, right here.
Wish I had copyrighted that,
trademarked that widget.com.
Years ago.
That's right. That's right. But that's wonderful. And I know that, incubators and things like that are always looked at as ways of growing businesses, starting new local businesses. We talk about economic development, and local businesses really seem to drive a lot of that economic development in certain communities. It's not maybe the big manufacturers moving in from out of state to build a giant factory and make stuff as it was maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, but it's these local businesses that really drive a lot of economic growth in a community, isn't it?
That is true. I mean, the grassroots for innovation is with the local businesses, those local entrepreneurs. Now, whether they're coming out of college and have this wonderful idea and want to move it forward, like there's programs, business acceleration programs, and we offer those as well.
Sure.
That get them to a pitch competition where they can potentially get more funding to develop that idea further. But the majority of innovation and economic development does come from small business, and it does come from the community, which is one of my purposes. How can I reach out to the community and bring that community in and give them the tools, the services to help them take that idea and move it forward to something that's actually real.
Right. And maybe start with maybe 1 or 2 employees and graduate and maybe have 5 to 10 or 15 to 20 in a few years.
Yeah, and the majority of small businesses, they're self-funded. They're funded by the entrepreneurs themselves, or loans, or even credit cards. But that's where the focus is. How can we, as a community in San Juan College and Enterprise Center, provide the tools to the entrepreneurs to help them start their business, but also to help them grow their business?
Right.
And that benefits not just the economic development, but that benefits the overall community.
True, very true. And I think I asked you too before we came on the air this morning that having a business at the incubator maybe takes out some risk from maybe just doing it on your own because you've got some more support, and you were talking about even the other business, incubator businesses that are there to be able to be, kind of sounding boards about how things are going or what I need to watch out for, things like that.
It does remove some risk, but the world of an entrepreneur is risk.
True.
Risk true, yes.
Yeah.
But yes, in terms of mitigating the risk, having the availability for office space and base space, but having the resources and services available, not just within the Enterprise Center, because we mentioned that just having a community of entrepreneurs, the members at the Entrepreneur Center, they're always sharing stories. So they're all building on their own experiences because they're all at different stages of their business entrepreneurship journey. And again, part of my role is bringing those other businesses, mentors, subject matter experts in, whether they're consultants, whether they have their own entrepreneur business and have challenges or successes, to bring that in to foster that relationship, but to continue that conversation, because for entrepreneurs, one of the key part is they're not on their own. It is a more than a 7-day-a-week job to run your own business, and I applaud anybody who runs their own business. And any support that we can provide through the Enterprise Center, whether it's something we're doing ourselves or just connecting that entrepreneur to an opportunity or to an expert or to a service or to a resource. That's what my role is.
Right. And I want to bring Jamie Church back into the conversation too, talk about how important small businesses are to the Chamber of Commerce, of course, but you have members of all different sizes.
We do.
From the big boxes to smaller mom and pop stores and things along that line, but it really does, I think, take all of them to create this economic driver in the area, right?
Right, absolutely. And we want to, at the Chamber, we want to see every single business survive, every small business up to some of those larger. And again, there's so many resources and programs that are available to small businesses. I just don't think they don't always know. So every time we can get on the radio or we send out our newsletter or share this information, we do these business builder workshops every month. Our one last month was on human resources. We try to share this information, and it's usually free because we want every business to survive and thrive. But it can be that situation where somebody says, I've got a great idea, I'm going to open a business. It may be a great idea. It might be a good product, but getting the word out and having that consistency, and as Martin mentioned, sort of that collaborative group that is happening over at the Enterprise Center makes it, again, bouncing those ideas off of each other, being a sounding board, and with Carmen and her team over at the Small Business Development Center, helping these new businesses develop a business plan. Like, how do you follow this business plan? There's just a lot of resources there. And I do want to, again, you mentioned small business. So the 28th of November, I believe it is Small Business Saturday.
Right.
And that is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And Small Business Saturday is very important. It's just a reminder to please try to shop local for the holiday season. And if you are, I have a chamber member that does computer technology, and he's making gift certificates. He doesn't actually have a storefront where you can go in and purchase something, but he's going to do gift certificates so people can purchase and give to someone if they need somebody to come in and fix their computer. I think that's a great idea. Just being a little creative with what you offer as a business, and just as a reminder to the community that throughout this holiday season, it is really important to shop local. And we are very excited to be working with Martin, to be working with the group over at the SBDC, Four Corners Economic Development West. And we have a very collaborative group all located in the Enterprise Center. So a lot of great resources.
Very true. Well, and we see a lot of new businesses opening, which is great to see.
Yes, we do.
But unfortunately, we've seen a couple of businesses close, which is not so great to see. And I think maybe some of that is maybe just some long-term planning and things along that. Martin, is that something that you talk to the businesses at the Incubator a little bit about planning for maybe 2 years out, 5 years out, maybe to have a promotion plan or a marketing plan, because they need that influx of customers if they're going to keep turning product, I suppose. Yeah,
the challenges with small businesses is cash flow, number one, but then scale. How and when do you grow? For any business, it is ultimately very, very challenging to sustain that business. You have to understand who your customer is, what their needs are, and how you address those needs. And there's a competitive nature to that, because there are companies who share similar business practices, business models, or there are areas where those businesses overlap. So for businesses, you have to be differentiated, but you also have to provide the service that customer or that end user needs, and be there for when they need that service and product.
Right. Very true. Very important. Well, and again, Jamie, as we mentioned, the Chamber does a lot with all sorts of businesses, and you have programs and events throughout the year, I think, for local businesses. You mentioned the Small Business Development Center, which is right over there at the Enterprise Center with all of you, that has a lot of great free resources available for folks that maybe want to dip their toe or whole foot,
their whole foot.
in the business pool, right, and start something up, right?
Right. We do have a lot of free resources, and we have a lot of networking opportunities so that you can connect. We do have one new program that's actually something we're bringing back from 2019, and that's our Leads and Referrals group. So this is not free. There actually is a fee to join this group, and you do have to be a chamber member. But this is a time where you are with another group of people. There's only one industry represented in each chapter, so we have group times. There's one that meets in the morning. There'll be one that meets at noon. There will be an online version. So there is a fee to be in this, but it is all based on leads and referrals and you having that opportunity over and over again to talk about what you do, or if you have a new product or a new service. And I think it's very, this is a very successful program. Again, we did it in 2019, and then obviously when 2020 happened, we put it on the back burner and we're finally bringing it back. But just a great way for you to connect and say, these are the customers I'm looking for, because all the other representatives in that group, they know people. So, and then you could say, I have this new service. This is what we're doing now. If you know somebody who needs this service or this product. So this is a sort of a higher level of what we're doing to try to connect our chamber businesses with their potential customers. So if there's information about it, it's we're really going to be starting to push it out in our newsletter now. But just a really great way to get connected into the leads and referrals group. So,
nice. Yeah. And I think when it was running before, I heard a lot of good things about it. I think a lot of folks really appreciated the connections they were making at these sessions. And so it's time well spent, and maybe I would say money well spent.
Yep, absolutely. It's $500 to join this leads and referrals group. However, 200 of that is, it goes right to our Chamber Foundation for our Youth Leadership Academy. So that's another program that we're working on. We hope to launch it in 2024. And then, but this is a great way for you to connect, to practice your your little elevator speech, because you get to go around and talk about what you're doing in a very brief time period. But I do truly believe that in our area, and probably many communities, so much business is done when you continue to see people at events, networking events. You really get to know them, what they do, what products and services they offer. And so when you then need something yourself, or you know somebody who does, you've got some people that you can refer. And I think that's how a lot of business is done in our community, is that face-to-face.
I think so too.
Yep.
So. That's very true. And Martin, let me come back to you a little bit about making those connections for your new and emerging businesses. I mean, that's got to be as important as making a good product, is making those network connections in a community to talk about what you do, what you sell, what opportunities you have for potential customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Enterprise Center is a limited space, but there's innovation and entrepreneurship happening throughout the community. So it is important for me to make the connection, and for the Enterprise Center to make those connections. So it's not just the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, but also reaching out to the educators, the administrators, and how to reach the students, whether they're in elementary school, high school, or as they're progressing through college, and looking at entrepreneurship and somebody who has an idea and how they can take that idea to make it real, to create a business around that, but also that business is to serve community, to serve customers. So that's really what the overall objective is.
Right. And I know for the last couple of years, San Juan College has worked with Fort Lewis College with an entrepreneurship program for students, both college students and high school students, called Hawk Tank, if I remember correctly, right?
Correct, yes.
And so I think that's been great to get students thinking about, their opportunities and their ideas to maybe, make their ideas happen, and they get a little money to help put it together.
Yeah, and that's part of what we do. We're not just looking at the Farmington region, because we have partnerships, like I said, we have partnerships with NMSU, we have partnerships with Fort Lewis College. So really we're looking at it from a Four Corners regional perspective in terms of economic development and entrepreneurship.
Rising tide raises all boats, or something like that, right?
That's right.
Someone more smarter than me said that, so there you are. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. Martin, Brady, thank you for being here. I think you'll be back more often to talk about some of your businesses. We'd like to focus on or hope to highlight some of your businesses too at the Incubator. So we'll work on that in 2024. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Jamie, thank you for arranging all this and coming in, of course, in a moment of free time for you in your life these days. But
That's right. Happy to do it.
Right, but we have a couple of deadlines coming up, right?
Yes. So the biggest one is the 17th of November, and that is to get your parade entry in. And then the end of the year, December 31st, to get the nominations in for Business, Citizen, and Nonprofit Organization of the Year. And we'll be getting those forms up on our website here in the next couple of days. So.
Okay.
All right.
Very, very good.
Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for my guests from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce and, of course, the San Juan College Enterprise Center here with me on KSJE.